Hi guys, as I mentioned before, in this playlist we are identifying each of the skill sets that are needed for SAT and practicing each one separately, and that's a very efficient way of doing it. So here I have about 4 or 5 problems related to circles and sectors, and in some ways it is a set of problems that relate to the proportions by which the sector in the circle gets split up based on the angle and so on. But so without talking too much about it, if I do an example or two, so you would know what this whole thing is about. So now I won't, sometimes I do a review of the topic ahead of time. This time I won't do that. I will just use the examples themselves and talk about the concepts there. So let's look at the first problem. In a circle with center O, central angle AOB has a measure 5 pi by 4 radians. The area of the sector formed by the central angle AOB is what fraction of the area of the circle? So the picture of the circle itself is not given. So I had just went ahead and drawn that picture of the circle, and now we'll see what AOB looks like. So the center of this circle is, you would see a O. So let me write it as a O here, and this is our center. Now it says it's 5 pi by 4 radians. So you should know by now that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So 5 pi by 4 is just a little bit more than the pi radians, right? If it's pi radians, it would just be like this. So this would be about 180 degrees, but that's not what we are being asked, and we are saying it's 5 pi by 4. So that would be something like this. This is the angle. So if this is A, O, B, this whole thing. So this has the 5 pi by 4 radians. The area of the sector formed by the central angle AOB. So area meaning we are interested in this whole area. So what fraction of the area of the circle does this form? So if you see the ratio with which the angle itself splits, so what's the total angle of the circle? So that's 2 pi or 360 degrees is the complete 2 pi or 360 degrees, whereas angle AOB is only 5 pi by 4. So the area itself gets split at the same ratio as the angle itself. It's fairly clear intuitively. So if this angle is more than 180, so this area is going to be more than half. How much exactly would it be? The ratio would be same thing as 5 pi by 4 divided by 2 pi, which is the total area of the total area of the circle is 2 pi r, obviously. So this would be 5 pi by 4 r. So the ratio would be 5 pi over 4 divided by 2 pi. So that, if you go ahead and do the calculation, so that would be 5 over 8, because r and r will get cancelled, pi and pi will get cancelled. So that would be the ratio. So the answer would be 5 over 8. So the main thing that you need to know is the 360 degrees in the circle corresponds to the 2 pi radians. So let's look at the next problem. In the circle above, the segment AB is the diameter. If the length of ADB is 8 pi, so this is the diameter. If the length of ADB, what is ADB? So this is, so that is 8 pi. What's the length of the radius of the circle? So what is the circumference of a circle? That is 2 pi r, right? So if this is the diameter, half of the circumference is the length of ADB. So ADB length would be equal to half of it. That would be just pi r. So that is given to you that is equal to 8 pi. So it's asking what is the length of the radius of the circle. So if we cancel out pi and pi, we know r is equal to 8. So the answer would be this. So this is a pretty straightforward problem, and there are one or two that are slightly more complicated. We'll get to them. So in the figure above, the circle has center O and has the radius 10. So this length is 10. Obviously this length is also 10 because they are both the radii. If the length of arc AB shown in bold is between 5 and 6, so this length AB is between 6 and 5. What is the possible integer value of x? So we are asked to find what this x degrees is, and we are only interested in the integer values. That is, if it comes out to be like 9.3, we are only interested in a number that is above that. So how do we solve this? So what's the length of this arc AB? So that would be for the whole circle, the circumference is 2 pi r, right? So that is for 360 degrees, corresponds to 360 degrees. And something between 5 and 6 corresponds to x degrees. So let's just look at the lower limit. So if we take the ratio, we know 2 pi r over 5 is equal to 360 degrees by x degrees. If since r is equal to 10, 20 pi by 5 is equal to 360 by x. So you cancel this, you get 4 pi is equal to 360 over x, or x is equal to 360 over 4 pi. So that is when we are talking about the lower limit of 5. So this answer is equal to 28.6. So similarly, if we take 2 pi r over 6 equal to 360 over x, you would get x to be equal to 34.3. So the answer we are interested in is greater than 28.6, an integer value, and it's less than 34.6. So any answer that is 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 and 34 will be a valid answer. So we'll do the rest of the problems in the next video. And so if you like this, please do go ahead and subscribe. And thanks for watching.